With that, you have been called and are being sent out to be Christ's disciples to the world. We would like to call and honor two of our graduates who have striven to do their very best in all they do, our salutatorian and valedictorian. After receiving their medals, we will hear from our valedictorian and school captain. It is my honor to call forward our salutatorian, Miss Dana Hergenrother, and valedictorian, Miss Leah Zanetti.
Before we take this monumental leap, though, I'd like to draw your attention to a slightly less important moment in our lives. 8th grade year, a few weeks before we were going to graduate, a representative from STM came to our grade schools. It's possible that most of you don't remember this, but for some reason it's stuck in my mind. To get us excited about coming to STM, the representative handed out shirts to all of the 8th graders attending STM that fall. Now, if you were like me, you took one look at that shirt and laughed out loud. And if you don't quite remember what might have caused such a sudden reaction, let me remind you. Here it is. This is the shirt. And I assume most of you can't read this, but it says, "It's our time to shine. We are class of 19." Super cheesy. As an 8th grader, I definitely thought it was cheesy. And honestly, as a nearly graduated senior, I still think it's pretty cheesy. But let me tell you something revolutionary. Even if something is cheesy, it doesn't mean that it's not true. Whether or not we want to admit it to ourselves, right now is the start of something amazing. After this point, it is completely up to us where we go from here. Right now, we have a very important decision to make. To stick with the star analogy like the shirt, and bear with me, this is going to be cheesy, we can either shine or we can burn out. Now, looking at the senior superlatives for this year, I can't help but think that that shirt was right. Most likely to become president, most likely to cure cancer, most likely to be a millionaire. It's possible that for most people, these titles represent getting ahead of myself. These titles were just funny ways to label people in a memorable way. But for me, these titles were opportunity. Maybe we are only a class of 77, but knowing the people sitting in these chairs for 4 years has shown me that we are small but mighty. It is within the realm of possibility to believe that one of us will find the cure to cancer, one of us will become president, and one of us, hopefully more than one of us, will make $1 million or even $1 billion in their lifetime. I believe without a shred of doubt that we are capable of so much more than we think. We've already proven that to ourselves. Just look at us. I'm sure there was a point for all of us where we weren't sure if we were going to make it to graduation. But look at where we are now. To quote the popular adoration song, "We Are Yours," we were made for more. I know right now there are probably a lot of people thinking that this speech doesn't apply to them. After all, we can't all cure cancer. I know I've thought I'm going to be able to change the world. Right now, we may be one of 77, but tomorrow we will officially be one in a sea of 7 billion. And that's a lot of world to change. But if you ever catch yourself thinking that you can't change the world, take a second to remember this speech. And if you haven't been listening until now, at least listen to this one part, please. Just because you're not changing the whole world doesn't mean you're not changing a world. It is impossible to go through life without changing the world in one small way. Whether we know it or not, these past 4 years we have all changed each other. And in the decades after today, we will change hundreds, if not thousands of worlds in an incomprehensible number of ways. So one more time, despite how extremely cheesy it is, I say proudly, it is our time to shine. We are class of 19. And now please join me in welcoming our 2019 school captain, Kennedy Record.